Hello, and welcome to this episode of the podcast. Today we'll be talking about Deepseek and AI at large. We need to discuss on how the Chinese AI has disrupted the market.
What do you think about that, Frankie?
Well, I don't really know too much about the situation.
From what I heard, it's basically it's basically a TikTok 2.0.
But AI.
But AI.
I feel like there's a bit more complexity to what's actually going on, but
it's basically from what I heard last week, so I haven't brushed up on this.
yes.
But it was a thing that was released that was able to be made within a few hours, or not a few hours, but relatively fast. Faster than ChatGPT. So it's more powerful, but also it's made in China, and they do have this rule where they have to send data from the app to China if China asks for it.
Which, in my opinion, is a bad idea.
Yes.
Because that would put even more information in the hands of the CCP.
Yes.
Which is something I don't want or support.
Yes.
Which is why I believe it is critical for American AI companies to win the AI battle. Yes, I believe the time has come where there's no longer an American monopoly on the AI market.
It is now between China and the U.S.
It is based, if you will, it is kind of like when the Soviets dropped the Tsar Bomba.
Oh, yes. And they're like, hey, we got this big old bomb that we can drop on you.
Yeah, and when the Soviets dropped their first nuke in 1949. This is kind of like that, in my opinion.
But, well, it's dangerous, but...
But not as dangerous as a nuclear bomb, obviously.
Yes. Sorry.
But for the purposes of potential information space dominance, this will put a severe competition in place where previously none existed. And because of the tech embargo on China versus from the higher end stuff, Deepseek was developed on lower end equipment, which has caused NVIDIA's stock to take a plunge because they're the ones making a bunch of the AI chips.
So I just looked it up using my intern, and it says it was made in 2023. I don't know how we're just not finding out about this now.
Because it's, we didn't find about that one replacement for TikTok, what's that app called?
Red Note?
Yeah, Red Note. We didn't find out about that till TikTok was at its knees.
But I thought they were saying that it was made faster than ChatGPT.
The key is it was developed using less sophisticated hardware.
That's true.
And it achieved similar results. So it is more efficient than the American AI models, which require more power.
Yeah.
And to those of you who do not know, NVIDIA doesn't exclusively make video game graphics cards. They actually sell a lot more into their enterprise customers than they do to the gamers. Yes, they sell graphics cards for AI models and crypto mining.
That's probably why their stocks went down, because of all the threats.
And when Deepseek came out, NVIDIA's stock plunged 18%.
Ooh, boy, that is a bit. That is a lot.
I do believe the majority of that is a reaction, but it is critical to keep in mind that if China wins the AI war, all of our information, more so than it is already,
will belong to them.
Yes, and anyone who wants to use AI will have
to
forfeit
their data.
Yes.
Listen,
or if the American AI companies are still a thing, the Chinese might have better AI eventually. I still do believe that on the high end, we still maintain an edge where for the AI models that strictly need like 4090, 5090-esque performance.
There was like experts saying that before this all came out with the competition, that ChatGPT was great, but like this type of AI in the wrong hands could be dangerous, which is potentially what could happen here.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, any AI in any
well,
in
the
any
AI
hands
is now.
could be dangerous, especially if it is trained to override it. Well, saying sorry, I can't answer that, which is another thing we'll talk about Deepseek in a minute. But I just want to say this: if someone, the early versions of like GPT had no filter, and they had to put filters on them, otherwise it would have said stuff that could have been very dangerous.
There was,
Yeah, and if you recall, like the exploding Tesla in front of the Trump Tower, I think that attack was planned using AI. So clearly it can be So clearly the safety lockouts can be overcome.
I remember when it first came out, there was this guy that was talking to ChatGPT, and at one point, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, somehow they got to the point where either the guy was suicidal or ChatGPT told him to commit suicide.
I believe it was ChatGPT that told him to do it.
Yeah, so like there was no filters on it to that point where that would happen. But yeah, I forgot if it was either the guy or if it was ChatGPT that convinced him to do it, which can be very dangerous.
Yes. But anyway, in terms of like the AI saying sorry, I can't say this. In DeepSeek's case, that includes stuff China doesn't want said. For example, is Taiwan a country? Sorry, servers are busy. What happened in 1989 in Tiananmen Square?
Oh boy.
I can't answer that.
I can't answer that.
It's basically like, because China already has a filter for its services like Google and stuff like that. There's a lot of things you can and can't search up. So it would basically be the same thing except on a global scale.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you can't look up anything bad, and if there's anything bad about China, it would just be wiped from.
Yes, and for the search for like the results I've seen a handful of videos. I've never actually tested this myself.
Yeah.
But where it's like a list of countries where there's like authoritarian regimes or stuff that's done where bad things happen, and it starts to answer first North Korea. Spits that answer out perfectly fine. Then it goes to China, and then the entire answer is immediately wiped away and replaced with, "Sorry, we can't answer that."
Oh really?
Yeah.
So it's already happening.
Oh wow! I'm assuming this is on Deepseek.
Yeah, this is on Deepseek.
Oh boy!
It's interesting because there's like a bunch of like different AI things. There's like ChatGPT, there's Meta, there's Google Gemini, I think.
Microsoft Copilot.
Listen, everyone just uses GPT. No one uses anything else.
I mean,
I don't think I've ever used
GPT is the most common, but Copilot is provided with a Microsoft subscription.
That's true. And then people who use, because when you search up something on Google, you know how it gives you a little summary.
Yes.
You're using it without paying for it. But yeah.
Bing does the same with Copilot.
But yeah, and then Meta does it too, but it's just more harder to use. But we don't trust Mark Zuckerberg with our data.
Yeah, at this point,
Zucker.
Everyone has it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Everything is in public domain. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
Everything is in public domain if you have enough money.
Yes.
That's what I.
Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if
because individual Discord messages in servers or DMs can now be bought or sold at a price. Look it up. It's true.
Listen, here's the thing: if this country actually cared about national security when it comes to digital stuff, TikTok would not be the only one getting banned.
I mean, in terms of privacy, like, we don't care about privacy too much. We'd like to think that we do, but we really don't. Yeah. Because we haven't lived under a regime where that has been taken advantage systematically and so publicly. East Germany did live under that regime with the Stasi. And so, after the fall of the Berlin Wall and reunification of Germany, privacy laws in Germany were strict. That's why on Google Maps, I believe for the longest times, street views for a lot of German like residential areas were actually not available because the German government didn't allow that because they viewed it as a breach of privacy.
Wasn't there also a thing where like you can't look up government facilities? either airports or like something with the military, so you can't look it up on Google Maps, or it doesn't show up. Usually.
Well, I'm guessing that's not entirely true. I can look up.
Yeah.
I can look up Area 51 and it would give me directions to Area 51. I literally did that once because I was curious.
I think Frankie was among the people who. No, I was gonna say you were.
Do you think I'm one of those idiots who was actually going to say, "Hey, let's go into Area 51. I want to have sex with an alien"?
God. I know you were because you were right next to me in class.
You want to know what's going to happen if I entered Area 51? I'm going to be looking at every single experimental jet, and I'm going to be showing it to that guy right there. And we'll salivate on our new technology.
Then we're going to fly it out.
Yes, we'll steal
Spin.
Yes, we'll first take it in a spin by ourselves first. And maybe we'll bring it back.
And invite some aliens.
For legal reasons.
No,
this is a joke.
Yes, for legal reasons, this is a joke.
Never mind. I was going to say anything we say, take it as a joke, but we do say some things that are serious.
Yes, but in regards to the whole stealing a military aircraft, that is a joke. And it is to be treated as such.
You know how the internet is. Some idiot's going to be out there going, "No way! They're going to do something evil! I need to warn everybody! I need to go on Twitter!"
Oh, no,
You know, the smartest place you can be is Twitter. Everyone says Twitter is good now. Are you sure?
I've never heard someone say Twitter is good now.
Apparently, some people have. They must be as dumb as the people on Twitter.
I only go on Twitter.
I don't even have Twitter.
I go on Twitter to see all the dumb people just like arguing with each other.
There
was a point where I would argue with them too, just because it was fun. Because they would like try to argue back with me, and it would just be funny. And I would just be like,
"So you're a troll?"
No, because like I would actually like they would be saying something, and it's like it was incorrect. Like I would look it up and it was wrong, and I would show them the fact. And be like, "You're lying. You edited that." And I'm like,
Okay, first of all, you guys complain about me going off topic. Look what just happened there. At least I announce it when I say not to go off topic.
"See, but it wasn't that long."
Yes, but usually when I say it, you guys say some other commentary, which makes it drag out for longer.
Because you're iconic for that.
Yes. Anyway, now.
I'm iconic. Thank you.
Oh God, I just gave him a big head. What?
Silence. That line of thought shall not be further pursued.
Wait, what did he say?
He said I gave him big head. Jose 2025.
I said a big head.
That's hardly any better.
That's hardly any better.
Isn't that what people say when you're like you think you're higher? No. Am I just?
I think you just accidentally said something extremely gay.
I was silent. I realized it, but no, I thought that's what it was. I guess
That probably is, but at the same time, it sounds
think
gay.
you
I had
never-
a bunch of spaghetti and. Okay, I'm good now.
What?
I had a lot of spaghetti and
Was it coming back up or something?
Yes.
God.
Well, no, it wasn't. But
This is
just,
when you break
it just
apart.
felt. I just felt weird.
This is
Anyway.
when you break apart your spaghetti. Never.
No, don't you dare say that again. Don't you dare.
He's
Send
getting.
him to the gulag.
You're. I can tell you're doing the summoning of the Roman legions from the dead.
Yeah, I'm a Spartan. Will be at your bedside.
Not a Spartan.
I am
A legionary.
Yes.
Yes, a legionary will be at your bedside
I was
tonight.
gonna say because a Spartan will not betray me.
The Spartan will be there to kill you for breaking the noodles.
Why am I going to school then? If the Spartan is gonna kill me. The mascot is a Spartan.
The mascot of San
Give me
Jose. It's the San Jose State.
Give me a knife.
Yeah.
Is a Spartan.
Yes.
So that San Jose's college has been geolocated for the entire internet.
I live among
Yes.
1 million people. So if you my Instagram is public, so
You need to remember that he's also named Jose. There's like, I'm convinced now that half this planet is named Jose.
But Okay, you said planet. I think you said the country. Cause
half this country.
They're gonna get kicked out. They're actively being kicked out. So I'm gonna be among the only Jose's here.
You're gonna be the last of your kind. The last Jose in the United States.
Okay, again, I'll probably get deported. They'll try. But
For legal reasons, should we edit it out?
yes.
Yes, for legal reasons, edit out.
Right.
We should
Do we have anything else we want to say about Deepseek and its knock-on effects? Personally, I think this is a wake-up call for all of the American AI developers.
Obviously, I kind of feel the same way too. And
Like
here's my opinion: like any app from China is no good, so we should stop using it.
Yes, because any business in China basically has to bend its knee to the government. There is no such thing as a fully private business in China, because I don't know if y'all remember, like there's this big court case with Apple where the government tried to force Apple to unlock to unlock a phone.
Yes.
And Apple fought the
Refused.
U.S. government and won. In China, if Apple refused, Apple would have been kicked out of the country in China.
Yeah, it would have. And you also need to remember that China hates us. You need to remember that China doesn't really like us too much.
Yes, and like any, I think this is also like a wake up call to the AI developers to like make your stuff cheaper, because like I think a ChatGPT subscription is like $200.
Right.
Find a way to train this stuff cheaper to keep up with China, because as much as some people like to shit on China for just copying everything, they are surprisingly able to develop things.
Yeah. After all, they did develop a jet engine, which is actually
Which is fairly complex, even if you do copy it.
Yeah.
India has been throwing its head at that problem for the past 40 years, and it still hasn't been fully successful as far as I'm aware.
I'm pretty sure
And the Chinese have been at it for about as long. So they made a jet engine. So
not to get off topic, but about that jet engine thing, not even country. Like I'm pretty sure only like 4 countries are able to make jets with afterburners.
I'm pretty sure those are U.S., Russia,
U.S.,
China.
Russia, Britain.
Yeah, U.S., Russia, Britain, China.
China. Yeah, that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Do Rafales have afterburners?
What?
Do Rafales?
If that's the Swedish jets. Swedish jets. Do they buy jets from us or?
No. France
France as well. Yes. So 5. Raphael, I know tanks, man. And plus, what do I know about any French stuff? It's French.
Oh, but I was going to say is, I wonder if this app is used in China.
Deepseek,
Yeah.
considering its censorship,
Most likely.
but probably even a more heavily cut down
Version, yeah. Because, like, same with TikTok,
Yeah.
China does not use TikTok.
I mean,
It's banned in China,
yeah.
which is
I
crazy.
mean, yes. It's funny that... I forgot where I was going with that.
It's funny that a company from China is banned, like a TikTok company is banned from China, its homeland.
Yes. They have their own.
You know, I'm almost shocked that Gaijin hasn't gotten the boot from Russia for the amount of times a classified document's been leaked in their forms.
Gaijin is the creator of War Thunder.
The game that Robert and I play sometimes. Sometimes in the forums, people get into historical arguments and then classified documents of machines that aren't even in the game get leaked. For some reason, someone leaked documents of the F-22. That's not even coming in. We're still in jets in the freaking 70s. 70s! And they decided, hey, let's put in stuff from the freaking 2000s.
So a Plus subscription for ChatGPT costs $20, and a Pro subscription costs $200 a month.
$200
I don't know who's paying
month?
$200 a
Who
month.
the freak is paying for that?
What are you using ChatGPT for?
Freaking hell, no wonder why everyone's going to Deepseek. Jesus Christ. How much is Deepseek? Wait, is it free? Is there a pro version?
There's a free version of ChatGPT, but I don't know why someone would pay $20 for a free version. I guess the same.
What's the point? You can just use the free version. Okay, no one's saying anything. After all, it writes essays just fine.
Maybe Deepseek does better.
Jeez. Does it sound more human? Actually, what am I saying? It's communist. It's not going to sound human.
It would just be like...
No, it's going to be manipulative.
Just like, to describe a war, China was the best country during that war.
No. You say, who won World War II? China won World War II single-handedly. It beat off Japan and it beat Germany back. It definitely was not Russia.
Oh, yeah. It's all free. Deepseek is free.
It's free.
There's no subscription.
That makes sense.
That makes sense why everyone's using it. I'm assuming it's...
Yeah, but that's a wake-up call to American AI makers to drop their prices.
Yes, because $200 per month? Bro, yeah. Come on.
And if you download any of these models to train for yourself, you need an absurdly powerful graphics card. Unlike with the Deepseek model, which you don't. Because it was trained on inferior
tech.
Yeah. So for those of us who don't have a 4090 or a 5090, which to be fair, is the majority of us. My point is, not everyone can afford the expensive stuff. So this model being trained on inferior equipment that is more efficient, can deliver similar results, is a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. I believe that the high end has been the focus of the AI market for too long, that something on the low end should now be a pivot too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what it should be.
This dork don't know what a 4090 is.
All right. For Jose and those of us who don't know what I mean by 4090 and 5090, I'm referring to NVIDIA graphics cards.
That's what I was thinking of.
Then why did you say you don't know what that is?
Because I didn't know what it was. But
I'm assuming I need to explain everything. So
yes, do it.
The first two numbers refer to the generation 40 series and 50 series. The 90 number. The last two numbers refer to its specific caliber. I forget the exact word for it, but I'm just going to call it caliber. Basically, 90 is the highest, 50 is the lowest. And there's everything in between.
So it's just like a chip, and then just more faster, more... Kind of like any chip.
It's not really like a chip. It's kind of like a big block that's in that computer right there. You want to take a look at it, you can.
You said processor, right? Chip or processor?
It's called graphics card.
It's a graphics card, even though it's literally like this thick. So it's not really a card.
It's thicker. It's thicker. Probably has even more computing power than the MacBook that is currently sitting in your lap.
Heck, the computer in my bag probably has way more computing power than that.
Is it a gaming laptop or is it the Mac?
It's a gaming laptop. Wow, do you think I get a Mac for gaming?
Do you have a Mac?
I do, but I use that for work.
Well, I didn't know you did. I didn't know what you had in your backpack. I didn't know you were gaming.
You didn't. I play Helldivers. You think I'm gonna play Helldivers on that?
How was I supposed to know you were?
That thing probably doesn't even run on Helldivers. Helldivers probably doesn't even run on that.
Probably not. I would just have to.
No, it's not a probably. It's a yes.
I would just have to get the maxed out thing and probably.
No. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get a PC, and then you're going to join the gaming universe with us, and this will happen by force. Okay? If you don't,
we will convert you to the PC master race, whether you like it or not.
I've also already converted. I want a PC. I just don't have space for it.
What do you mean you don't have space for it? Okay, that thing's literally in my backpack.
Yes. Gaming PCs.
We didn't say anything about a desktop.
I want a desktop one, but if I get a gaming PC, I have to really, really want it.
You're gonna really, really want it. What's worth it with you?
There are surprisingly cheap options out there, especially if you buy used. That's a discussion for another time. We're getting off topic.
Yes.
We can reuse some of this we can use some of this discussion when we talk about chips.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Chips.
Not those chocolate chips.
No.
Yes, that's the next episode. We're going to talk about computer chips and how and their supply chain and how that's affected by politics.
Yes.
Correct.
But anyway, for the AI stuff, not everyone has a 4090 or 5090. 5090 is the stuff that was come out, and barely anyone has a 5090 anyway because they didn't make enough of them, and they're all sold out everywhere.
That's probably going to be like that for like a long while.
So yeah, no one has any 5090s anyway because they're all sold out.
Yep.
And similar situation with the 5080. Everyone's sold out. But I'm getting we're
getting off topic. You had a not to get off topic moment.
silence. Criticism of the supreme leader is not allowed.
Yes.
Understood.
Just like Deepseek, this will be silenced and stricken from the record.
There's going to be a graphic that says it was silenced by the Supreme Leader.
Yes. Yes. You forget who is the head autocrat here.
Yes, I understand.
How this happened.
Yes. The only one that is opposing us here is that guy.
I was voted out.
What?
No, I was
were
Joe
out.
Biden.
Yeah.
You're Joe
You were
Biden.
I
was Kamala Harris.
Do we have anything else we want to say about Deepseek and AI in general?
Nope.
All right. And that's it for this episode. Tune in for the next one. Goodbye.